Media's event this coming Wednesday. So that's only tomorrow, folks, by the way, at Madison Square Garden. AEW President Tony Khan and some of All Elite's roster will be expected to be there on this huge announcement. So, I mean, it's a big deal. I didn't think they would get on TNT. That is something big for them, because that channel in America, that is a big channel. That is a big deal. And, you know, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what kind of roster you've got sometimes, unless you've got a good TV deal, you're not going to get people watching the product. For me, not only have they got the sort of uproar of the social media going on and sort of almost like a rebellious reaction to what's going on in WWE at the minute, I kind of feel like they're going to have intrigue from the WWE fans regardless. Yes, a lot of them will probably just watch both. I'm not doubting that. But for some people, Matt, it's going to be like the perfect alternative come at the perfect time. I mean, could you have got a better time to start a company than where they are at the minute? Now, I'm not saying they're going to run head-to-head with Raw and SmackDown and all this, but it couldn't be a better time, could it, Matt, for this sort of announcement to happen? And with everything, the momentum at the minute with these guys is doing well.
Yeah, I mean, and you've got to learn from history as well, haven't you? Why would you want to run head-to-head? I mean, there's so much going on in wrestling these days. Just let people pick and choose what they want. I think we know where most people are going to shift their focus to eventually. I mean, if WWE continues down this path, it's understandable if people want to check out something new and interesting. And, you know, whether people stick with AEW, that's another question. We have to wait and see just how good this product is. I mean, it's not a huge roster, but the roster is very good, very talented and very experienced. Some of those minds that they have signed are incredible. You know, those people you were talking earlier about these minds that can put a match together backstage.
Yeah.
Just, you know, and some of them don't even need to do that. Just do it off the fly. You know, this is the roster that has all of that potential. And like I said before, Jericho's there even, and one of the best at doing that. You know, coming up with these match tactics and stuff. So yeah, this company is in incredibly capable hands. So,
yeah.
I'm sure it's going to actually take off well.
Yeah, I mean, they, like Matt said, they got people backstage, like Dean Malenko signed there, Arn Anderson's there now. You even got Jim Ross. I mean, that guy couldn't get any bigger of a deal with him, because if you talk about talent relations, you know, not just an announcer, but that guy's experience, to have him, someone like him in the background is going to be massive for them as well. So, and, you know, Double or Nothing coming up, Matt, is you know, it's going to be a big deal. I know that much. There's, you know, it's in Vegas, the MGM, you know, great venue to start. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's not like they're starting small. This is going to be a big deal, pretty much like All In was last year. But this time they've got some financial clout behind them, shall we say, and some good matches already booked. I mean, you know, I know they don't have the greatest roster, but then neither does NXT, but that still does better than most of what I see on WWE. So I'm like, you know, I'm not too bothered about it. I think it's all about what the product is they put out. Is there enough variety for the casual fan to be in there? No doubt they're going to need to sign, you know, a couple of names maybe to get the kids involved, shall we say. But if you're not garnering that audience, then I don't really think there's too much of a problem. And if anything, you could hit a real niche with it, because it's something that WWE just can't do. If there's one thing that WWE got their hands tied behind their back, it's not getting out of that PG situation at the moment. And that is something that they could capitalise on. And I would recommend that they do that, really. So you've got a couple of the matches that are here. So you've got Hangman Adam Page is going to go up against Pac. I'm really, you know, fascinated to see him again. He's been working a lot of indies, Pac. So, but it's going to be great to see him. We've got Christopher Daniels, Matt. I mean, you know, him and Frankie Kazarian, great team there. And of course Scorpio Sky, they're in a match as well. Of course, that big match between Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, the kind of rematch, if you will, from New Japan. That's, you know, again, such a big draw for me in terms of what they can do. You got a tremendous tag team match, the Young Bucks, Matt, going up against the Lucha Brothers in Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix. I mean, what a match that's probably going to be. because those two guys, I mean, arguably the two best luchas out there currently, I would say, in the now. I'm not talking about... I mean, Rey Mysterio is always going to have that title, but like I'm talking about a real prime quality. Those two guys, they're already big names for me. Of course, we're going to have Cody up against Dustin Rhodes. It's ridiculous, isn't it, Matt, to think that Dustin Rhodes has got his name, but Cody hasn't. But officially on here, he can have Dustin Rhodes. It's not a problem. But poor old Cody, he's never going to have his real name, is he, at this rate? And I don't suspect that'll ever happen with the way the relationship's working out at the moment. And of course, I should add that Billy Gunn is there as well. He's in the backstage as well. So a lot of minds are all there. You've got Brian Pillman Jr. as well. I don't know if you've seen much of him, Matt, but he's a real quality star, Brian Pillman, the son. So he's there. To be honest with you, there's 10 matches announced. Jack Evans has just signed as well. We spoke about Jimmy Havoc earlier. You wonder what's going to be in the play for him, as he did say he's already shot videos for them. Everything at this point is certainly pointing towards good stuff and a nice variety of things that are happening. So it's going to be interesting to see how that night develops. But going back to the TV deal, which of course everybody is, sort of been questioning, is it going to happen? They haven't even had a show yet, can't take them too serious. As soon as I saw really sort of Kenny Omega sign for them, I thought they've got to have something, because there's no way he's going to sign not to do anything, quite frankly. So you kind of knew, and especially with Jim Ross going there, he's not just going to put his name to something that isn't going to go anywhere. So now AEW are under no obligation to disclose financial terms of the deal due to their status as a private company, so they will not have to sort of do what WWE do and every quarterly announce figures and all the rest of it, which can sometimes be to their own benefit. In a lot of ways. And also, Matt, for us UK fans, I know there was a lot of worry about, can they get it? Is it only through streaming? No, because it also comes hot off the heels, this news says, of the announcement that ITV Box Office will be carrying the promotion's first pay-per-view Double or Nothing in the UK later this month. So again, another big deal for them, that they've got the ITV deal in place, and probably, Matt, it's going to lead to perhaps somewhere down the line when the TV does happen that they may have something with ITV there, Matt. And then I've got to say, in terms of the UK, that would be massive, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, huge. But then why not? I mean, try and crack every market you can. There's fans all around the world wanting to see this product, right? So if you can deliver it, then do it. Yeah, and
it's kind of, I mean, it's handy because Tony Khan, he runs the American Football Club, but he also runs a football team here as well in London. So he knows both markets pretty well, and he's got great contacts. So if he's already lined a deal up with ITV, that's a tremendous move on his part. And just finally, Matt, about Double or AEW, one thing I will say, because everyone's been like, what day are they going to do this on? Are they going to run head-to-head with a Raw or a SmackDown? Well, I will say one thing, Matt. Something that was trademarked by AEW a couple of months ago was the trademark that was titled, I think it was Tuesday Night is Dynamite. And that apparently was going to be the show title. It'd be a perfect opportunity, but... Do you think WWE will be thinking, yes, bring it on, we're going on Fox? Or do you think they're going to think, oh no, not Tuesday?
Well, I feel like being overconfident would be a mistake. You should take something like that as a credible threat, because like we've been saying all night long, there's people dropping off of WWE. The figures are dropping, so... these fans aren't necessarily getting out of wrestling. They might just be watching other wrestling. And when something like this comes along, who's to say they won't tune in from Ring of Honor or New Japan or whatever other show they're watching and then just shift their focus to AEW? Yeah,
no, I'm totally with you. And finally, Matt, it should worth pointing out, they are going in the pay-per-view business. They're back into that now. That market in terms of wrestling is very wide open. Impact Wrestling, they were doing it for a little time, weren't they? Not great, but the fact that they're in the pay-per-view business, Matt, you sense it's wide open. It's the first time now. When Impact Wrestling were doing it, WWE was still in the pay-per-view business, but now they're not, Matt. It's sort of almost like there could be a lot of money to be made here all of a sudden. I mean, Tony Khan, I know he's got a lot of money, but he's not going to get into this, Matt, not to want to make a buck out of this coming back. I mean, I'm pretty sure, as much as he's putting into this, he's a businessman, Matt, and you know as well as I do, they all want money. So, it's pretty... I mean, I think it's fascinating that they're going to go back into it. That WWE, yes, they still do have, they drive still in this country box office, Sky box office and all the rest of it. But it's fascinating, Matt, because they want everyone on their network for $9.99. But yet, I don't know how much they're going to charge for this, but I mean, they could make a lot more money for them now. They might not have the sort of numbers that come in, but again, in terms of financial, this could be a shrewd move on their part.
Yeah, definitely, and it'll be interesting, won't it, as well, because then we'll see which tactic really is the best way to go. Like, is it like getting a subscription service where you sign up and then get your pay-per-views, or is it still viable in this day and age to actually put out there, buy this pay-per-view on a separate basis for this amount of money? We can actually judge. For once, there'll be something to weigh up, and we can see who actually has the better idea.
Yep, absolutely. So we're looking forward to that coming up. We'll have I'll certainly be watching it anyway. It's got my intrigue. Guys, before we take your questions, I just want to plug we're also available on Twitter now. You can get us at WrestleLine P. That's WrestleLine P. So if you want to get us on or send anything to us, is at WrestleLine P. And also don't forget our Facebook page as well, which has been doing really well of late. I want to thank everybody for that. Okay, let's take some questions now, mate. I've had a few coming in whilst we've been on, so I'm going to take a couple of those now. We've got Ben, first time not caller, we're talking about emailer to the show. He says, what do you think to the new idea of the wildcard rule in general? To me, it's just a load of nonsense and a way of having guys on both shows without really meaning it. Ask yourself this: is Seth ever truly getting over with all this going on? So thank you for your question there, Ben. Matt, do you want to take that one? I mean, are you a wild card fan?
Not really. It does just seem to be plucked out of thin air as an excuse to actually shift some wrestlers sometimes to make things a little bit more interesting. But does it really make things more interesting? I really doubt that. But they do still want to keep the separate structures of Raw and SmackDown, don't they? Because it is still a good business move, I suppose, to have two different rosters where you can send one to one state and another to another state, or even to another country, and you can still produce a show week in and week out. So I guess it makes sense from that standpoint. But it does kind of feel like they're taking the easy way out. They just want to be able to shift some people now and then when they feel like it. Because I suppose, we felt it last year on SmackDown. SmackDown had a smaller roster, and by the time the end of the year came, we'd seen nearly every matchup that they could produce, every combination about who would verse who. So it was drying up. So I guess I can see why they needed something to keep it a little bit more fresh.
Yeah, you're not a fan of the wild card.
No, not really. I feel like if they can do it that way, just say we're just going to send whoever we want, wherever we want.
Yeah. As regards to Seth getting over, no, I don't think it helps him. I don't think it helps either champion, to be honest with you, Kofi or Seth. I think this is ridiculous.
Do you know what my other problem with it is? It's if we're supposed to believe this wild card concept, how do you apply for it? Do you actually have to call in and say, I'd like to be on SmackDown? What wrestler in their right mind would say, nah, I don't like the idea of getting extra TV time, I'd rather just do the one show? Everyone would want to do both shows.
Well, probably Brock. He wouldn't be a wild card pick, would he, if he was on that roster now? I'm not doing two in 1 week, forget it. But